He freed a wounded bobcat from a hunter-esque trap and thought that was the end of the story. But years later, the wild creature returned, not to be saved, but to save him. High in the frozen forests of Montana, where winter lasts longer than it should and silence feels heavier than snow, lived a man named Elias Rohan. The locals used to say Elias was a good man before tragedy, before the accident, before grief hollowed him from the inside out. Years earlier, Elias had a wife named Hannah and a daughter named Lily. Their cabin used to echo with laughter, with boots stomping snow off the porch, and Lily's voice begging her father to let her keep every stray animal she found. But one icy night, a truck skidded across. Black ice. By morning, Elias was the only one left breathing. After the funeral, people brought casseroles. After a month, they brought sympathy. After a year, they brought silence. Elias chose the mountains, not because he loved isolation, but because isolation hurt less than reminders. He rebuilt an old cabin deeper in the forest, away from roads, away from questions, away from pity. He stopped attending town gatherings, stopped answering letters. He stopped expecting anything good to happen again. Until the morning he found the blood in the snow. It was late December. The air burned his lungs with every breath. As Elias chopped wood, he noticed red stains trailing across the white ground. At first he assumed it was a deer injured by wolves, but the prints were smaller, lighter. He followed the trail cautiously. Behind a cluster of frozen brush, he saw it, a young bobcat. Its leg clamped inside a steel trap. The metal teeth had dug deep into its flesh. The animal snarled violently when it saw him, its golden eyes blazing with fear, pain, and rage. Elias froze. His heart pounded, not from danger, but from something else. Recognition. That look, he had seen that look in the mirror. Trapped, bleeding inside, fighting the world because the world had hurt you first. He could walk away. No one would know. This was nature. This was survival. But something inside him, something that had not died with his family, stepped forward. He slowly removed his axe from his shoulder and set it aside. "I'm not your enemy," he whispered. The bobcat lunged weakly, its claws scraping the snow. It was terrified. Elias approached inch by inch, each movement deliberate, each breath steady. It took 20 long minutes to pry open the rusted trap without losing a finger. When it finally snapped free, the bobcat tried to run but collapsed, its body trembling violently. Elias stared at it, then did something he hadn't done in years. He chose to care. He wrapped the wild animal in his thick wool coat and carried it home. He laid the bobcat near the fireplace, but far enough away to avoid panic. He cleaned the wound carefully, speaking softly the entire time, not because he thought it understood the words, but because he needed to hear kindness in his own voice again. The first night was rough. The bobcat growled whenever he came close. It refused food. Its eyes never closed fully, but Elias stayed nearby, not forcing, not demanding, just present. Days turned into weeks. The wound slowly closed. The growls softened into warning huffs. One morning, Elias woke to find the bobcat sitting upright, staring at the window where sunlight spilled across the floor. For the first time, it wasn't looking at him with hatred. It was simply watching, observing, existing. Elias exhaled slowly. "Almost time," he said. When the leg was strong enough, Elias opened the cabin door wide. Cold air rushed in. The forest stood waiting. "You're free," he told it. The bobcat hesitated only for a moment, then it slipped into the trees. Gone. No goodbye. No gratitude. Just wilderness. Elias stood there longer than necessary. He felt foolish for expecting something, but deep down, he knew love does not demand acknowledgement. It simply acts. Winter passed, spring melted the frost. Life crept back into the forest. One evening, as Elias sat on his porch with a cup of black coffee, he felt something, that instinct you cannot explain. He looked up. Across the clearing, just beyond the tree line, were two golden eyes, watching. The bobcat, bigger now, healthier. It did not approach. It did not run, it simply sat, then turned and disappeared. That became their rhythm. Every few weeks, at dusk, the silent guardian would appear, never asking for food, never crossing fully into human space. Whose Chakeen and, strangely, Elias began to speak again, not loudly, not to people, but to the forest. He found himself saying, "Good evening," when he sensed those eyes nearby, and somehow the mountains felt less empty. 3 years later, during the driest summer Montana had seen in decades, lightning struck the ridge behind Elias's property. The flames spread fast, too fast. That night, Elias slept deeply. He did not smell the smoke at first. He did not hear the fire crackling. What woke him was impact. Something slammed hard against his cabin door. Once, twice, again. He stumbled from bed, confused. Then he smelled it. Smoke. Thick. Choking. The windows glowed orange. The forest was burning. Another violent slam against the door. Elias yanked it open. There was the bobcat, older now, a scar visible on its leg. It yelled loudly, pacing, then darted toward the clearing and back to him, as if urging him to move. The fire had already reached the tree line. Without that warning, he would have suffocated in his sleep. Elias grabbed only what he could carry. He stumbled into the clearing just as flames swallowed his roof. From a safe distance, he watched years of solitude burn away, and beside him, the bobcat stood. Calm. Alert. Not fleeing, not panicking, just present, as if saying, "We are even." When the fire crews finally arrived hours later, the bobcat was gone. Elias lost his cabin, but he did not lose himself, because something inside him had shifted permanently. The next morning, as smoke still lingered in the air, neighbors came to help, and for the first time in years, Elias accepted help. He told them about the bobcat. Some believed him. Some didn't. But that didn't matter. He rebuilt his home, stronger and safer. But he also rebuilt something else. Connection. He began volunteering at wildlife rehabilitation centers, speaking about coexistence, about how fear creates violence, but compassion creates balance. He never tried to find the bobcat. He understood something now. Wild love is not meant to be owned. It is meant to be honored. Time moved forward. Elias grew older. His beard turned white, his hands slower. But every now and then, especially at dusk, he would feel watched. And he would smile. Because somewhere out there in the Montana wilderness lived a creature who remembered kindness. And because of that, a broken man learned how to live again. Kindness given freely, especially to those who cannot repay you, as a way of returning when you least expect it. Not always in the same form. Not always immediately, but always meaningfully. So let me ask you, if you helped someone once and they disappeared from your life, would you believe your kindness still mattered? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories that remind us of the powerful connections all around us.